How would you like to achieve your first million? And today we have Edwin, which he's in Colombia. So Edwin, tell us, what are the 5 steps to make your first million?
Welcome to Unstoppable Podcast with Harry Sardinas, inspiring conversations with influential millionaires, investors, thought leaders, entrepreneurs who are making a massive difference with their innovative products and services, and sharing the challenges and wisdom of how they sold their first million.
Harry, good morning. Thank you for having me here. And to everybody listening, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever part of the world you're in. What are the 5 steps? So let's start with step number 1 to get to your first million, right? And it's extremely important to understand that step number 1 is faith. Understanding that you have to have faith in everything that you do. When I'm talking about faith, I'm not talking about just having faith in God, on a superpower or a higher power, but it's also having faith in yourself, having that confidence that whatever you start, you're going to be able to accomplish it because you believe in yourself and you know you're capable of doing everything that you want to do. And from my story, my personal story, that has what's gotten me through everything, and I have been able to accomplish everything because of that confidence, that faith that I have in myself, and the confidence and the faith that I have in my God. So that's step number 1. Number 2, it's not having a plan B. A lot of entrepreneurs start business and they always say, if something goes wrong, I'm going to do this. If this doesn't work, I'm going to do that. And that's the biggest problems that I see with a lot of entrepreneurs that I work with, especially the ones that I mentor, is that the biggest limiting belief that they have is that they have a plan B. So the moment you have a plan B, you're telling yourself, I'm going to fail. And when I fail, I'm going to do this. So my thing is never, ever have a plan B. Always have just one plan A. And the plan A is going to be, this is where I'm going to get to. This is how I'm going to become successful. Number 3 is vision. A lot of us, one of the things that I love to say in every podcast that I get on is, if you don't know where you're going, you will eventually get there, right? And what does that mean? When we start into business, that, yeah, we're going to be successful. It's going to take us time if we continue going through the business process. But if we don't have that vision, that clear vision of what exactly do we want, where do we want to take our business in a year from now, 5 years from now, 10 years from now, where do we want our life to be? In the moment that we have clarity in that vision turns into reality. And I could tell you from personal experience, everything in my life, personal, relationship, business-wise, material, non-material, because of my clear vision, I have gotten it. So that's number 4, right? And number 5 is the most important one of everything. And this one is the one that accelerated my growth to success in all areas of my life. It's the moment that I learned the power of mentorship. Have a mentor that's within your values, your beliefs, that is having the life and is doing the things that you want to do, because that's what's going to accelerate your success. And not only is going to accelerate your success, but it's also going to cut the learning curve, but it's going to diminish the mistakes that you're going to make. And it's actually, instead of you making $100,000 mistakes, you're going to make mistakes, but your mistakes are going to be a lot smaller, maybe $10,000, $20,000. But it's extremely important that you get a mentor in any area of your life, not just in business, but in personal and relationships.
Wow, Edwin, the 5 steps are amazing. I want to touch base in the first one because I think it's really powerful what you just shared. And starting from your step number 1, which is have faith, yeah? And this is what we find with entrepreneurs, right? The entrepreneurs, when we start a business, yeah, nobody knows you, so you start to find your first client, you start to find your supplier, your client doesn't want to pay you less, your supplier want to charge you a lot, and now you are wearing all the hats building this business, and all this negative emotion start to accumulating in your head, right? That if you don't find a way to work on yourself, or you don't find an external source with all this negative emotion, you can let it go and be the new Edwin every day, powerful, smiling, to ready for business. Most entrepreneurs don't take what you just shared, your step number 1, seriously. And what happens is all this negative baggage keep accumulating and accumulating and accumulating. Now they are in a way that this emotional pain, they are angry, can turn into physical pain. People can end up with cancer, with a heart attack, you name it. For me, for example, it's walking. Yeah, when I walk, that works very good. For me, for you, you share with us that that you have that faith where at some point in your day, every day, you have this conversation, an internal conversation with you and God, and somehow it works for you to release all that negativity and back in business again, power for the next day. So what advice do you have for the entrepreneurs that they are so busy that they skip your first step? Then when you skip the first step and you're not aligned with yourself, it doesn't happen. It even doesn't matter how many millions you make. You're
Yes.
gonna be unhappy, and sometimes people self-sabotage and lose all the money. With the help, some of them have shared this experience in this very same podcast. So Edwin, tell us, and how you find out that this is step number one. If you want to be successful, you have to have the discipline, because it takes discipline to work on yourself and to find a
Yes.
channel.
Yeah, and Harry, I don't think it's so much as disciplined, but it's understanding that because we do believe, because we have that faith in ourselves, in God, in something else, is that make sure that we bring that into our business life. Because one of the things that a lot of entrepreneurs are afraid is that, because I'm in business, I'm afraid to talk about God, or I'm afraid to talk about my beliefs. And the moment that you start doing that, the thing that you're doing is you're not having your values. Your values are not being strong,
Consistent.
because you're putting your values, I'm a man of God when I'm not in work, but in work, I can't talk about God. So that means your values are not consistent. They have to be consistent. Your life has to be, your values have to be aligned with your business and your life. So the moment that you live your business, your values are always aligned 24/7. They never change. But also you have to stand up for what you believe in. And the moment that you realize that you start standing up for what you believe in, that's the perfect moment, because that's the moment where the people that are not supposed to be in your life, they're not supposed to be in your business, start walking away. And the people that are supposed to be surrounded by you, and the people that you want to, you start attracting those people.
Mm-hmm.
And as far as, when we have those hard moments, because again, as entrepreneurs, as husbands, as business owners, just life in general, there's a lot of like dark moments in our lives, right? And I
100%.
think by having that strong faith, not only believing in us, but also believing in something higher than us, like to me is God. And I respect everyone's beliefs, but again, I'll talk about God because that's what I believe in today. So when by me having that strong belief in God, is that when those tough moments are happening in my life, and I cannot longer support those bad moments, is too much for me, I just turn to God and say, God, I'm turning this over to you. I'm not going to worry about it. I know you're going to take care of it, because I learned that he's never going to give me something that I cannot handle. And sure enough, the moment that I do that, I'm back again, focusing to what I need to do, not what's happening.
That's really, really powerful, Edwin. So, and so how about, what message do you have for the young generations? Yes, that they're so busy, so focused making the first million, they want to make the money. And if Edwin come and said, look, you should do, I mean, if you don't believe in God, at least do some meditation, go for a walk, go for a swim, whatever works for you. But there is something that you need, that space, that channel where you can, like you said, when tough moment comes, and believe me, when you're in business, it will come, and a lot. You have this channel, or this way of you to go back to shape, because otherwise it will get accumulated, and when the
Yes.
debts accumulated, that is a problem. You find people, working Monday to Sunday in restaurants, a restaurant, for example, Monday to Sunday, 12 hours a day, not speaking with the family, not speaking with the daughters. They're angry, they're exhausted. And then they will come and say, look, you should work on yourself. If you believe in God, do your prayers, that will help you. Otherwise, if you don't believe in God, I don't know, go to do meditation, go for a walk, swim, but do work on yourself, so you are ready to release this negative baggage, and to come back positive and strong and empowered. And they're so busy that they don't even have time to hire a coach. They don't even have time to talk to you. So what
Yes.
message do you have for these people?
Oh, is that, you have to
They're
set boundaries.
suffering right now.
Yeah. Number one is start setting boundaries because you're going to realize, and I'll give you this one little task to everyone listening here is that if you look at your day and you take note of everything that you do within the hour, if you're working 12, 14 hours a day, you're going to realize that you were only, that a lot of the time that out of the 12 hours during your day, maybe you were only 3 hours productive. Because as humans, we're productive, not for a long time. We're productive. We're able to be concentrating
Also,
in
you
one
get tired.
for a long time, right? So if you realize that you're being unproductive, you're 8 hours a day, there's no reason for you to sit on your desk for 12 hours. It happens to me once in a while. I come to my office every day from 9 to 5. And sometimes I know that the whole day that I was sitting in my office, I only did 1 hour of production a day. But there's times that I know that I have something going on and I'm only gonna be able to work for 2 hours that day. And those 2 hours are more productive than I was productive on a whole
100%.
8 hour day. So it's understanding that, working longer doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to be more productive. It's condensing your time so you work under pressure and you're having those boundaries. So like that, you're able to refocus, you're able to relax, you're able to rest. And the most important thing, you're able to not waste the most important thing and the most valuable thing you ever have, and that you're never going to get back, which is your time. Because the moment that you realize that you lost your business, you lost your relationship, you lost your family because you're trying to work so much, then you're going to regret and you're going to say, I should have never worked that much. I should have spent some more time with my family. I should have spent some more time for myself. Because the moment you realize today you're 20, tomorrow you're 27, and all this time that you work for, you have nothing to show for. So what was the point for that? And it happened to me. And I'm talking from experience.
To me also, yeah. I'm listening to you and it's like a reflection. So Edwin, so tell me a little bit more about your origin from Ecuador, yeah? So how you become not entrepreneur, serial entrepreneur, which is, having different business and deal with different business at the same time, and I started a lot of multi-million pound companies. How you end up like this? What happened? What's the story?
Well, I'll tell you a quick background story. So I was born in Ecuador. I was raised by a single mother, and I come from a very humble home. And I was
Wow.
very fortunate enough to go to the United States when I was 12 years old. After I was 12 years old, I always knew I was going to be successful. That was always ingrained in my head. And that was my belief that I always knew I was going to become successful. At 19 years old, I joined the United States Marines. I had an awesome time in the Marine Corps. I traveled the world. I left the Marine Corps when I was 22 years old, and I started my first major company in real estate. I became a real estate developer, and in no time, like in about less than 4 years, I had over $20 million worth of revenues. And,
Wow.
it was a quick growth for a young kid that never had anything in his life and did everything on his own. And I was doing what we just talked about, working, 16 hours per day and just focusing to the money, money, money. And then 2007 comes around and I go bankrupt and I lost everything. And that's
Wow.
the moment when I realized, like I was saying a minute ago, what's the point of working so much if you have nothing to show for? And I just lost 4 years of my life trying to become this super rich guy that I didn't enjoy life. I didn't enjoy myself while I was working so much. So then I realized that, number one, I had to really do it again. And I went to this seminar where they changed my mindset. They made me believe in myself again. And I told God, look, give me another chance. And sure enough, I left that seminar, an opportunity came my way. I started into the gold buying business. But the difference was that this time I was only working 5 hours per week. I was making over $1 million a month. And I was enjoying life. I was living my life. I was on the yacht every day. I was going out. I bought my Lamborghini. I had my multi-million-dollar house. I was just living life. I was enjoying life like I never had before. And that's like one of my biggest things that I want everybody to understand, that you can have a very successful business without having to work a lot. You just have to work smart and efficiently. You can have everything that you want because there's a lot of gurus nowadays that are going to tell you that you cannot have a life-work balance. And I'm here to tell you that you can have both. You can have a
Absolutely.
life-work balance.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Yeah.
So those are the things. So that's like a quick short of my story. But nowadays, I'm very fortunate enough to be able to mentor entrepreneurs and help them get to the 8 figures in their business by putting systems, processes, mindset into their business in order for them to be able to scale, live a fulfilled life. And then I love to invest my own money with the people that I mentor.
Yeah, wow, amazing, Edwin. Story is fantastic. It resonated a lot with me. My first business was in real estate when I started in London, and we sold over 5 million, and I'm like, I just want I went to real estate because of the money. Yeah, want to make money. I want to become a millionaire. Yeah. This is
Yes.
purely for the money. True story. Huh? I was passionate about it, but I knew that you can make a lot of money with this? Yes. So, and I want to make money. I want to make a million. So, guess what happened? My real estate business goes so well that one day I was not even needed in the office anymore. My team told me, Harry, go home. We run this business. We can run this business without you. Go on holiday. Enjoy your life. You know what I did? Because I was bored at home, I went to Brick Lane in London and I opened a restaurant and I lost 200,000 pounds on 2 years of my life working Monday to Sunday. Yeah. And I lost my girlfriend back then. I lost all my friends back then. It was a total disaster.
Yes.
And what I learned about this experience, Edwin, is even I didn't know what I wanted, I was really sure what I don't want. Yeah. So I said, I don't want a business again that I need to be Monday to Sunday, 2 years that I don't have enough experience or I don't know how to run it, and I'm fighting again uphill. And yes, you come back with a different form, you reevaluate yourself and you say, okay, how about if the next business that I'm gonna have, yeah, I can do it in a different way. How about, he said, I have a friend, one of the guys that I coach. Yeah, he's a multi-millionaire. He owns like 300 supermarkets. Yeah, he has 4,000 employees. Yeah, and
Okay.
every time every time that I say hello, honestly, I feel sorry for him. No, he enjoyed this life. He decided this life, and he's happy about it. But it's not for me. It's not for me to be, in charge of 4,000 people, huge operation, 300 supermarket. You have to be in the office, in the headquarters all the time. This is not what I want for my life. I want for my life something really, it's like you describe, with the minimum effort possible to make the more amount of money and impact, and then achieve this balance, this life balance. Like, for example, travel. You know why this is important? And we're gonna share something. Yeah. After I managed to back up everything, build the real estate and everything, and come back to the restaurant, you know what happened? My mom got sick, and I was in London. I get a phone call and tell me, you need to come to Cuba. My mom was in Cuba right now. You need to take a plane and come here. Your mom is not well. I'm like, what? Say, yeah, you have to take a plane and come. And then, long story short, it took $100,000 and a year traveling around the world to actually, now she's very close to me now, next to me. She's healthy, she's fine. To look at this. And I'm thinking, Edwin, that if I didn't repackage my life as an entrepreneur in a way that I can really do it, my mom would be dead by now.
Yes.
And that's how seriously we had to take these lessons that you're just sharing, Edwin. Because if people say, well, Edwin is talking about this, it's too good to be true. People can be talking about things based on their own experience, but the real entrepreneur, yeah, and maybe that was the path in the real estate that told you, Edwin, hold on, forget about the money, recalibrate your life. What do you really want? Yeah, because as you see money, you can make it again.
Yes,
It was
exactly.
my
And
big
that's
deal, and
one
he
of the
knows.
things. I love that what you said. That's one of the things. It's like, money comes and goes, and it's going to come and go throughout this lifetime as many times as you could imagine. But the one thing that you really have to be worried about and take care dearly is your time, because that's the one commodity you're never going to make more of. You're never going to get back. You only get 24 hours in one day. And the moment that you lose those 24 hours, you're never going to get those back.
Yeah. But then, but Edwin, why, what is driven force from you? You know, all entrepreneurs I know, we have it in our gym somehow, that we want to do something amazing, that we want to be successful, that we're gonna make a big impact, that we can do it, yeah. But you arrived to United States with 12 years old, and then even with the 12 years old, you're thinking that you're gonna be successful and so on. But what give you the latest push? What make you think that you can become an entrepreneur on the first place? Do you have any entrepreneur in your family? Do you read any book? When you do discover that become an entrepreneur, that's gonna be the vehicle to give you the success and the lifestyle that you really want to have.
Yes. I mean, to answer that question, do I have an entrepreneur in my family? Yes, my mom
Oh wow!
has been an entrepreneur for the past 30 plus years, always in the insurance business. But I think my hustling experience came when I was very young. So when I was 14 years old, I started washing cars because I didn't want to be a burden to my mom and I wanted to have my own money. So I started washing cars. From there on, I became a DJ and I DJ in Miami for a while, but it wasn't a business, it was a hustle. And the reason I don't call it a business because there's a huge difference between a hustle and a business. So a hustle is something that you're working and you're trading your time for. The business eventually makes you money by you putting less effort into it, right? And now you start having employees and everything else. So my first major business, my first major company was the real estate development one that I was able to grow that company and have me maybe over 50 employees at one point and a bunch of
Wow!
subcontractors.
Wow!
And that was like the real business. When I talk about that, the real business, but it wasn't a business because that business owned me until I learned the power of really scaling a company and having an asset. And the moment you create your business as an asset is the moment that we're able to step away from the business and the business never needs us anymore. And that's what was able to work only 1 hour per day because I created an asset. I created a business that's going to survive without me. And when we're talking about, starting a business, we have to think about the scalability of that business. Is this business going to be able to be scalable? I'm going to be able to make this business an asset. So eventually I'm able to sell this business. And
Yeah.
that's the way we look at things. So my drive came from different parts, in my journey. The first one came from the need that I didn't want to be a burden to my mom. The second one came onto the need that I needed to be successful so I could show everybody in my family that I am successful because everybody looks up to me. The
Wow!
other one came in, the need because I understand that the more successful that I am, the more impact, the more families, the more employees I could have. So that means the more families I'm helping out,
More
the
people
more
you can
impact
help.
I'm creating on this world. And the last one came in because of the legacy part. When I really realized and God told me, it's like, hey, I gave you this gift of becoming successful, and I want you to teach others how to become successful because that's going to be a legacy. And the legacy becomes that every time I teach somebody to become successful and they become successful, they're going to teach somebody else and somebody else. And that becomes a legacy that is going to carry on for generations and generations. And me having this opportunity
Then
of
you
teaching.
invest in your own students. That's amazing.
Yes, and
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 they're
and right
ready
now,
in their own
yes,
business.
having this opportunity of being on this podcast for you, and this is going to be, on all the social media platforms, and it's going to be there for the next 10, 20 years. That's a legacy that I'm leaving behind for the next entrepreneur that is having a hard time, the next entrepreneur that
100%.
wants to grow, that is going to learn maybe with this one nugget that he needed to be able to break through.
Yeah. Edwin, and so what your mom told you the first day that you said, Mom, I'm gonna start my developing business, my real estate developing business. You're so young, 19 years old. What your mom told you?
No, actually,
You
she was the one
crazy?
that
Go to
told.
school. No,
No,
what?
she was the one that told me to become a developer because
Oh, wow.
I was gonna go to school to become a federal agent, to either work for the FBI or the CIA. That's what I wanted to do when I was coming out of school. And she's like, and then I told him, like, I don't know what else to do. So she's like, oh, maybe you should become a developer. So I'm like, what's a developer? So she told me it's like very simple.
Wow.
You buy land, you build houses, and you sell them. I'm like, that's easy.
Wow, you jump into this. That's amazing, because sometimes, Edwin, the we have uh, we have role models, or we have some indication from the family that sometimes put us in the wrong direction. They said, well, go to school and study would be a big waste or resources. Can you imagine, rather than all the experience that you have with 19 years old, if that you go to university and you wait 5 years and now you're out of university and you're with debt? Yeah,
Yes.
which is what most of the parents, not even in the United States, in Ecuador, in all Latin America, that's what all of the parents are telling to the children: go to school, get a university, and then you're gonna find a good job. And the
Yes.
reality is, they go to school, they wait 5 years of their life, and after, when they finish university, they're lucky if they are not dead, because some of them need to borrow the money to go and study. And then you have a brilliant mom that said, hold on. Hold on, let's do something more effective. Yeah.
Yes.
Why you, now that you're young, that you're strong, that you have all the energy in the world, why you don't become an entrepreneur? And look, let me give you an idea. You like this idea? Okay, I support you. That's amazing. So big admiration for your mom. And I wish that, we'd be more people successful in the world if all the moms were like yours. Yeah. Have the
Thank
experience.
you.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes. Of
Nothing
course.
wrong with my mom. She loved me. Yeah, she loved me a lot. Yeah, but for her, because she's a teacher, she want me to become successful. And the way to become successful, she always tell me, go to university, study a lot, and you're gonna be fine. And then I went 5 years to the university. I got a degree in chemical engineering that I showed to her, and it made her very happy. But I never used it in my whole life.
Yes. And it happens. But to me, I'm not opposed with education because I think education is important, especially what education does, especially when you go to university, it gives you the structure that a lot of people don't have in their life. And,
Mhm.
we need very good educate. I need educated people to work for me because, hello, I need somebody that's smarter than me in business. And that's what's going to help me to continue growing. So, hey, I'm
Yeah,
all out for people going to school, getting a good degree, because there's different ways, there's different paths, and not every path is for everybody. If somebody's maybe more,
100%.
of a scholar and they want to go through that route, by all means, there are going to be some amazing employees. And the one thing that I tell people is like, if you work for somebody else, don't ever think you're making that person rich, because at the end of the day, you're getting a huge benefit of working with that person because
And
you're
learning
getting
from
a
it.
free education of how to become a successful entrepreneur, how to run a business, and eventually you could walk away and use that skill to launch
Exactly.
your own business.
Yeah, and then there is a book, Edwin, like why student A work for student C. Yeah, and
Yes.
and the other thing, yeah, with my university, give me one thing though that was really really amazing, and I figured out this after the years. You know what? Because I study engineering. Yeah, what happened is, in these 5 years, every day the only word that you hear every day several times is problem. Yeah, you have mathematical problem, chemical problem, physical problem. So every day in the university, they give you a problem, you have to solve this problem. They're not real problem, they are theoretical problem, they are math problem,
Yes.
they are chemical problem, but they are problems. And you stay 5 years solving problem, and you go to exam solving problem, and then you want to become an entrepreneur. Guess what? When a problem comes, you have a certain ability to solve them. You're already being trained, so you're not scared of the problem. You know that problem can have more than one solution. You know that problem.
Yes.
You have a different approach for problem. So yeah, it's still right. I think that exactly what you said, right? We need only also qualified people that go and work on those business and make them successful. Yeah,
Yes.
but the thing, I think that there are certain mindset, right? That all the governments in all the countries, right, is heading to. You are you have a very good status. Oh, Edwin, look how good he's going to university, he's studying, and he's a very good boy. And then when you said, well, Edwin is 19 years old and is building his business, and everybody's like, so why is become an entrepreneur so young? So there is a certain negative connotation with when in a stereotype, especially in Latin America or in US as well, that the correct stereotype for social recognition is you go to university, you study a lot, then you find a corporate job that pay you a lot of money, so you can buy your Ferrari, you can buy this, you can buy that. So this is what is well seen, whether when you choose a path like you choose, people are looking at you like you are a stranger, like you are an outlaw, like you are you're doing something that nobody's doing, and most of people don't even understand what you're doing when you tell them, no, I'm an entrepreneur, I'm a I'm a real estate developer. So how you battle this social social battle, right? Maybe with your family, friends, people around you, that you are doing something completely different that everybody else, and you trust and believe it that it's gonna work. Where all the environment, maybe for your mom clearly not, but say friends or school teachers or whatever, they were telling, you should be going to school and study, right? Than with 19 years old building this business, yeah. So
Yes.
what keep you on path? Because I'm sure
What?
a lot of people try to talk you out to deviate you from that path. Yeah.
Oh, definitely. And the one that tried to keep me out and deviate me from that was my first mentor. Um,
Wow.
with the moment that I realized that I wanted to be a real estate developer, I found a mentor, and it was a free mentor. And I think that was the problem. It was a free mentor, right? I
Mhm.
found this mentor, and I told him, it's like, hey, I want to be a real estate developer. So he told me, just like you talk about in school, it's hard. It's going to be a lot of problems. Maybe you should go work for a construction company for a few years, get some experience, and then become a developer. Um, so that was the one. So the thing that the big difference with that was that I didn't listen to that person. I understood that if you're not building me up, if you're not with me, cheering me on, I don't want you part of my life. I don't want you to be part of the journey. And that's exactly with a lot of people that have come along the way. That whenever I'm doing something and people are negative, I look at them and I see, are you doing what I'm trying to do? Have you made it to where I want to make it for you to be able to give me that advice?
Very good
One
point.
of the things that people end up doing is a lot of people end up listening to somebody that is poor, somebody that's never done it, somebody that's on the comfort zone. So if you're listening to those people, you have to stop listening to them and listen to the ones that made it. Listen to the ones that are
100%.
successful. Listen to the ones that have achieved the things that you want to achieve.
You cannot teach something that you haven't done before. Yeah. We have,
Exactly.
like I said, we have a lot of business coaches out there that never own a business, and they're business coaches. And then you have nothing wrong, but in my opinion, a lot of people talking how you can make $1 million and they never see $1 million in their life, right? So the funny thing, Edwin, is that when when this happened, the someone that already have made the million can talk to the person and say, look, I don't think that what you're saying is accurate. you know
Yes.
I see a lot of seminars. You can see people, oh, this is how you can make a million. You do this and you become a millionaire. And by the way they talk, you realize that they never seen $1 million in their life and they never have a business. Just by the way they talk, because someone in the audience actually have done it and know exactly the process, know exactly the language, know exactly what how you talk, and what advice you give, and how you approach things when you actually do it. So Edwin, you touching point very powerful, which is qualified advice. Yeah, there is a completely
Yes.
different ball game between an advice and a qualified advice. Yeah. And
That
I'm
is
saying this
correct.
like I shared in the previous podcast, my dad is always giving me advice from the business. Yeah. And he loved me and everything, but my dad is a teacher. He never owned a business before. Yeah. And he's always, this is what you should do with the business and everything. But maybe after I speak with Edwin, yeah, which is a qualified advice, and then Edwin tell me the same thing like my dad, then I'm listening to it, I apply it, and then my dad comes to me and tell me, you see, I told you, you didn't do it. Now you spoke with this guy, Edwin, that you met him today. He told you something. Now you're doing the same thing that I tell you. Why you listen to him and you don't listen to me? And I'm like, I said, it's like, that this is gonna be this way because I only take, I take more in consideration, put more weight to qualify advice.
Yes.
I want an advice to make $1 million, to make $10 million. Well, I need to. I will listen more carefully, and I will pay more attention to someone that have achieved that because he's qualified to this advice. Probably you telling me the right advice, yeah, but I'm not taking it just for this very reason because you're not qualified for it, yeah.
Exactly.
And
Yes.
it's been a battle of my life, with daddy, try to help and things like that, and you don't listen and X, Y, and Z. But in the end of the day, it's hard, because it's not all the advice that they give me, they are good. There are also that others that they're not good. Are you with me? So how how can we convey to the entrepreneurs? Because a lot of people, you share something really powerful. You try to find a coach and a mentor, right? And then and even you share with me that the mentor is someone that actually done how can I say to you, even when you had your first mentor, it was not the right mentor. But I think that you develop the skills. You develop the skill in the same way that you hire people, in the same way that you that you hire your employees, right? It's in the same way that you learn how to hire your mentors, how to find the right mentor, the right coach. So Edwin, is that coaching and mentoring, how important do you think that is coaching and mentoring for the entrepreneurs out there?
Coaching and mentoring is extremely important. And for some reason, I just lost my camera. Let me try to get back to you. Give me a second here. I don't know what's going on here. Give me one quick second. Let me see if I can get this fixed.
We've seen amazing pictures of you, though.
Yes, yes.
So so we're talking about the power on coaching and the power on mentorship. While you fix that, let me do a quick story. The other day in this very podcast, I interviewed one guy, yeah, he had exited over 40 companies, yeah, in different areas.
Okay.
And what happened is he lived in Colorado. He said, well, now I want to become a real estate investor. Yeah. And in Colorado. And guess what he did? Now he told me after 2 years, I have now a very good portfolio in Colorado of real estate. And I asked him, okay, but how you did it if you didn't have any clue about real estate? And he told me, Harry, this is what I did. I find the best mentor that know about property in Colorado. I paid him a lot of money and he taught me how to do the business. Yeah. So it's interesting how someone very successful with more than 40 exits, that they have deep understanding of business, how it works. And even that he has a very deep understanding of business, if he want to go to a new business, yeah, he find that mentor, he find that coach, and start the business, right? So the whole point of the story is successful people, Edwin, follow this path that you described. They find a mentor, they find a coach, they learn from it, they try to find the qualified coach mentor, and then they have someone to support them to build the business. Whether all the times the people that are unsuccessful, they don't need, they don't want help, they don't
There you go. Sorry about that.
They don't understand the power of coaching, right? So in your
Yes.
opinion, Edwin, yeah, what is what is the secret sauce to find? Is that coaching and mentoring actually essential for you to become successful? And number two, how you find a right coach?
Yes. So is coaching and mentoring is essential for you to become successful? I will say no, because you can become successful without a coach, without a mentor, right? I did it the first time around.
Yeah,
But
absolutely.
would if I had the coach and the right mentor when I became very successful, maybe I would have never gone bankrupt. And that is the thing, that having a mentor is gonna help you sustain, because making money is easy. The hard part is sustaining the money, right? And
100%.
continue leveling up. The other thing that it does is a right mentor is going to help you break through certain ceilings. So in the entrepreneurship world, there's certain ceilings that we hit. The first ceiling that we're always going to hit is, how do we make our first $100,000? So the moment that we get to the first $100,000, okay, how do I break to the first million? Then the next break is going to be, how do we get to 5? How do we get to 10? How do we get to 20? Right? So there's certain ceilings that you have to hit every time. And having a mentor, what the mentor is going to do is going to help you break through those ceilings right away, because they have experience. And for example, from my personal experience, every business that I've been involved with, I have taken that business in less than 2 years to over $10 million.
Wow.
Meaning that my ceiling is already set for $20 million, because I get to the $20 million. I know how to get to $20 million right away. Somebody that wants to start a business side by side with me that never had that experience is going to take maybe 3 or 4 times longer to get to that level,
100%.
that instead of me. So having the right mentor that is able to help you break those ceilings fast and understand what you need to do in your business right away, what you need to implement to get to that level, is extremely crucial in business and in life, right?
Yeah.
So the second part to your question is, how do we find the right mentor? And through a lot of trial and error and spending over $1 million on different mentors, because I do quite a substantial amount of money. I invest quite a substantial amount of money in mentorship.
Me
throughout,
too, a lot.
right? So how do we find the right mentors? Like, how do I pick my mentors? So one of the things that I do nowadays, the way that I pick the mentors is, number one, I look for their values. What are their values? What are their beliefs? If they are within my values and my beliefs, that's the person that I want to work with. That's number one. Number two, how long have they been doing this for? Whatever I'm getting into, how long have they been in business? Did they just get in business maybe a year ago and now they made 20 millions and they got because out of luck? Or have they been grinding in business for like the past 20 years and they failed 2, 3 times? Because that's the mentor that I want. I want the mentor that has gone through the failures, because I know he's going to get me out of those failures. Versus the mentor that's never failed. He doesn't know what failure is, and he doesn't know what's coming his way. And he doesn't
100%.
know how to react to that, right? So it's finding that mentor that's going to get me through those failures. It's going to understand, hey, we have to watch out for this, this, and this, because these are the pitfalls of success. And this is where we could get stuck.
Yeah,
So I like that part.
yeah, and then Edwin, this is because something similar. People sometimes don't understand the business. They say, well, the business is going to last forever. Well, no, something can happen. Could happen a credit crunch, COVID. A situation can come, even if you're making millions, something out of your control can happen that technology can advise, advance, AI appear, you name it, right? And
Yes.
if the entrepreneurs are not prepared for that, yeah, and doesn't have like a backup plan, so some of that income in investing in other assets, let's say for example, real estate is very good vehicle for that, right? So the entrepreneurs have that caution, yeah. A lot of things that entrepreneurs do also is all the money they make, they take all this money and they reinvest 100% in the business, rather than buy assets that asset give them cash flow and take this cash flow and reinvest in the business. Something happen with your business, it doesn't matter. Still, you have the assets that can produce you. Yeah.
Yes.
But then but when we start the business, Edwin, we don't know that, right? And then we work hard, we make all the money, and then all of one day, you wake up and then, wow, credit crunch, wow, COVID, wow. and in a blink of the eye, you're wiped out, and now you need to start from scratch, from zero. But
Yes.
that the mentor that actually has experienced that and have managed to build themselves back up again is actually the best mentor, because can prepare you for reality. Because why they will the entrepreneurs are living in la la land if they think the business can outlast you, depend on the type of business and so on, but also in the same way that can outlast you and be there forever, even when you're not around anymore. In the same time, and this is the reality, something can happen out of your control that have nothing to do with you, that can have a huge impact in the business. Let me give you an example. We have my real estate business. We were renting properties to people from Europe that come to UK
Okay.
to work, and we call it landing services, right? I used to own an English school and the properties, and we were managing those properties, and then we also had them to find a job. So even people from US as well. So landing services. Guess what happened? One day in Brexit, so UK decided to go out of the European Union, and there you go. Now not too many people come from Europe to UK anymore to work in restaurants and everything, because they need visa, they need this, they need that they didn't need before. And in the blink of the eye, all our our revenue with something that have nothing to do with you. You're running your business. So things can happen that sometimes they're out of your control, and you can, and even you do what you described with the development of the real estate, right, and the credit crunch. However, I'm sure, Edwin, that if a credit crunch come again, if something come again, I'm 100% sure that now you're prepared, and it's not going to shake you. And definitely you don't need to start all over again. You have now solid foundation on you, because you know that actually happens. And if you don't plan properly, you can lose everything, because you lost everything once. Now you're probably the best person to go to be safe, because you've been there and done it, right? So
Yes, sir.
what message do you have for these entrepreneurs out there, young, like you, 19 years old, that they believe that they're unstoppable, that they're the big deal? Now they making millions, they have the car, they have this big house, they feel unstoppable, but they're so young to understand how reality looks like. And it doesn't matter, you can even have a castle. If something happens, you might lose everything. And if you don't have a mentor, if you don't have the right coach that give you the strategy to keep your business safe, because that's the other thing, there is another way to structure a business that you can keep it more safe, and also to I don't know, to reinvent in other businesses, to reinvent in property in another way of channel that can balance this, so you are actually recession-proof, and stay more safe. So what message do you have for these people that the entrepreneurs, that they are young, they don't have enough experience, they think that they're the big deal, that they are unstoppable, and they are no the ego is so big that they cannot, they say they don't have time to speak with Edwin, the big deal here. And
Yeah, the first thing
they
I
don't
would
know,
say,
how real life works, and can hit them bad and get a bad lesson. Yeah.
yeah, the first thing I would say is make sure your business is recession proof. And what I mean by recession proof is do an exercise. And the exercise is, if you were to lose 50% of your revenue right now, are your business going to be able to sustain? And for how long is that business going to be able to sustain? So that's number one, be recession proof. Number two is save up for the rainy day or save up for opportunities. Because the moment that the recession hits, if you are cash heavy, if you're able to know how to raise capital right away, you're going to be able to take advantage of amazing opportunities. The world is going to be on sale. And what I mean by that, let's say you're in the transportation industry right now, right? And to buy a truck is going to cost you $100,000. The moment that the economy tanks, the same truck that you're buying today for $100,000, you're going to be able to buy it for
100%.
$50,000. So
100%.
now you have a buying opportunity that you could go out there and buy more trucks and actually scale your company and grow your company faster. You're going to be able to buy companies at cents on the dollar, at pennies on the dollar.
Amazing.
So you have to be recession proof, and you have to be ready, cash ready or capital ready, to be able to take advantage of the sales that happen around the world. So those are the two key advices that I give you. And to me, I always like saying is live below your means. Make sure that you have enough money coming in, more than going out.
So Edwin, people are in love with our conversation, what we talk about it, and they want to learn more about how can you help them, how can they find you, and how the process works.
Yes, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to give every single one of you that stayed until the end a gift that I only give to my paid listeners and to my paid clients. So the thing is, I'm going to give you my business super stack kit, and that gift is going to take you to the next level. It has relationship blueprint. It has the business framework, what kind of business to have. It has the business template. It has a win-win negotiations formula, how to become a good negotiator in business. And at the end of the day, if you don't know what kind of business to be in, I'm going to give you my free book, Secrets of the Millionaire Gold Buyer, which is going to teach you how to make money buying and selling precious metals. So to be able to get that, all you have to do is send me a DM, podcast 24, and any part of my social media channels in Edwin Carrion 78. So you're going to find me at Edwin Carrion 78 and send me the message podcast 24.
Edwin, do you have the book with you that we can have a look for our audience handy there?
No, I do not. But again, send
So
me a
how
DM
can you find it
and
in
we'll get all of
Amazon?
that.
Tell us the title again.
Oh, actually, my book, yes, I do have my book here.
Yeah. Show
This
it
is
to
my
us.
book.
Secrets of Millionaire. Wow. Secrets of the Millionaire Gold Buyer. Wow, amazing.
Yes. And you can find this book on Amazon.
Wow. And this is Edwin is for people that don't have a business, that want to start their own business, right?
Yes, that don't know what to start, what to do, or have a lot of money already and they want to figure out how to continue creating wealth. That's the book.
Thank you so much, Edwin. Man, it's been a pleasure to be here. This podcast has been so powerful. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you so much for your expertise and the experience that you share with us. And for all of you following this broadcast, see you in our next episode of Unstoppable, how break entrepreneurs like Edwin break that wall and achieve the first million. Bye for now.
Follow us for more interviews with world's most influential, audacious entrepreneurs that overcame challenges and adversity, providing you with the blueprint of how they sold their first million so you can grow your business exponentially.